But healthy relationships be boring as sometimes.
Do y'all think healthy relationships get boring?
Now, I don't know about y'all, but when I think about a healthy relationship, I don't I don't naturally assume that a healthy relationship is a boring relationship. I don't think those two things are synonymous. It depends on what your version of boring is. But I mean like monotonous, I mean repetitive, and things of that nature. I don't think that that is a healthy relationship. I do think that that is not the worst type of relationship to be in, but I don't think I would classify it as a healthy relationship. But I came across these clips and I just thought it was so interesting to listen to people talk about like being in a boring relationship and how people viewed it. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of like get into this and unpack this real quick because I think it's interesting to talk about. I think it's something that we definitely don't. I haven't heard talked about enough, and definitely not from this perspective that I'm gonna address it. How I'm gonna address it, I should say.
Do y'all think healthy relationships get boring? Like you're in a good relationship with a guy and you're enjoying your time, or a girl, it doesn't matter. Like you enjoy who you're with, you're enjoying your time, and then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but the fact that the routine is so good, does it get like boring? Like, damn, we need like some
Okay.
type of
Please,
discourse.
please go
Like,
first,
oh, I need
because
to yell at
your
him.
relationship is healthy.
Okay,
So please go
very.
first.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
yeah,
yeah,
this is. I
it's
think this
too
really is the
healthy.
question for me. So yes, I do have a healthy relationship. But me personally, as a person, I don't know if it's a Gemini thing. I don't know if it's me, but I like consistency does not work for me. Like I'm very sporadic. Like one minute I could do this, and next minute I need to do that. Like a schedule does not work for me. So I can't.
I don't think she means consistency. I think she means monotony. I think that would be a better word to describe what she's saying because she wants consistency. She wants a man that's going to show up for her consistently, right? But I don't think she wants to be in a relationship that is full of complacency, right?
Can't get bored. If you cannot fulfill like that excitement in my life, I will get bored. I love my healthy relationship, but it's like if we do the same schedule, I will get bored. Like that's how I be. Y'all see it when I do it with hair. I be like, one minute I be like, I don't want to do no hair no
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm gonna go into my other hobby. But it's like, or she might do too much of one style and be like, I'm
Yeah.
sick of this. Literally, like I cannot.
Yeah.
I cannot do the same thing. That's literally why everybody was like, "How did you do college and cosmetology school at the same time?" Because
Yeah,
I
that
got
was too
bored.
much for me.
I kept going to work and doing school at the same time. So I was like, "Let's add something else to the thing." And that's how it was with the relationship. You have to keep it up. We got to go out of town.
Yeah.
We got to be a little free. We got to do something new in the
Yeah,
bed. Something
right.
got to
Yeah.
be different.
I think that's fair. I think what she's saying, like, and that's so what I got from what she was saying, which this is what I think about it as well, is she's not saying like I think some people think that excitement equates to volatility. They think that it means like you guys have to have drama or something like that. And that's not what I think of when I think of like a boring relationship, right? Because in the beginning of the relationship, it's not boring, but it's also not volatile in most cases, right? It's usually like it's just exciting because you guys are like, discovering new things together and you're discovering new things about each other and you're going out consistently or whatever. But my question is like why can't that continue throughout the duration of the relationship? Like why would that stop? Like you never know a person 100. You don't know a person 100%, right? They don't know themselves. They don't there's parts of themselves that they haven't revealed to you because they don't know how to access it. So um the way for you to access it is to be like do things with them and talk to them and go as deep as you can or whatever, right? Conversations and different experiences or whatever, right? Like you don't know how people are going to react in different situations. You don't know how people are going to react when they go to a new city. You don't know how people are going to react when they go to camping versus when they go to the top of the Space Needle in Seattle. Like it's just you don't know. You don't have an idea. So it's important for people to like this woman was talking about. She's saying like like I said, I think a better word would be monotonous. She's saying like, I don't want monotony. I don't want you just like wake up. How you doing, hon? Oh, let me make breakfast. Let me make coffee. You want eggs and toast? We're eating eggs and toast every fucking day. Oh, you want strawberries? Okay, cool. Like You know, come home, put down your briefcase. Hey, honey, I'm home. Let's talk for 15 minutes. Okay. Let me go out on the patio and do this for 20 minutes. And like, I get what she's saying. She's like, I mean, you can do that to a certain extent. It's okay to have like a routine, but you also need to add some variety in there at some point. And I think that it's deeper than like doing stuff as well. I think that it also is about having, you know, like deep conversations and like talking to one another, right? Like I think that's how you don't make things boring. And I think that that's how a lot of men end up making things boring, is because men are not really interested in having a lot of in-depth conversations and like deeper experiences with women. So, you know, it ends, I think that ultimately, you know, it leads to like a monotonous, boring relationship.
But healthy relationships be boring as sometimes. Like when you really start to find your, like I'm saying this as fresh in the 30s. I got a new appreciation for boring, my right. I got a whole new appreciation for not just being able to sit the down with me and mine and not have nothing, ain't on fire, don't nobody need me to leave the house, I'm good. So while you young, yeah, it seemed like you want exciting every day, but I'm a caution you, because thing too, like the caution, when you always
I actually think that like dating can be fun. Don't get me wrong, especially for men. I think dating is really fun for men. But like dating can be fun, right? But it's 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 fleeting, right? The feeling of fun is fleeting. It's not a deep, rich, rewarding, you know what I mean? If you want to, I don't know, want to say like funness. It's not as deep. You know what I mean? Like the fun goes away really fast. That's why you have to date a lot. That's why you have to talk to a lot of different people, right? Because you're not really scratching that real itch. It's like, all right, this is cool. You know, like, oh, she was fun. Oh man, that was an exciting night. You know what I'm saying? But the conversations are shallow, right? And though they may seem deep, right? But the reason why I think a lot of times early on they seem like that is because you guys don't know much about each other. So everything seems deep. Like, wow, that was deep. Wow, we went deep. But you know, when you think about it, it's like really like she just found out that your cat died in the third grade. Like, you know what I mean? Like you've told that story 1,000 times to 1,000 people, but that's the first time she's heard it. So it's like, oh man, that's interesting. And you're, you know, getting that first reaction from them and things of that nature. So I don't know. I disagree with like what he's saying as far as like, oh, you know, when you're younger, you know, you want that excitement or whatever. The excitement is the novelty. That's really all it is, right? But it's once again, the novelty wears off. So that's why you have to keep like get a new date, go on another date, go on another date, go on another date. You know, I don't see why the novelty ever needs to wear off in a relationship if you're actually putting forth the effort. I don't think the novelty ever needs to wear off. I think it's always going to be there.
Excitement from your relationship, you're going to start expecting the person across from you to perform for your entertainment, you feel me? And that's not nobody's job, bruh.
Yes, it is. Like a tap dance.
Like if y'all want to add new layers to y'all relationship because the old shit ain't working, you need to figure out ways to become a new person. You know what I'm saying? Do some new shit in your own life so your partner got some new shit to learn, and let them do some new shit in their own life so you got some shit to learn. But actual excitement, bro, that ain't their job to provide that.
Once again, I don't think people are looking at this like, I want to learn how to golf, and that's exciting. I'm gonna learn how to skydive. It's like that's fun too. Don't get me wrong. I think it's all encompassing. I think that's a part of it. But I think you can have a ton of excitement by literally just having like different types of conversations. Like, and I'm saying this to the men, like imagine if you talk to your significant other and you actually listen to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if you weren't worried that they were gonna, you know, say something to you, or, you know, you can be genuine with them and you don't have to be guarded and protected, and you can just have like a genuine conversation with them, right? Imagine how exciting that is. Is it not exciting to talk about yourself? Is it not exciting to learn new things about somebody else? Right? Like, isn't that a part of the excitement? You don't know everything about your partner. Believe it or not, you don't know everything. I don't know everything that happened with my wife today. I don't know. You know, but if you have that conversation and you are actually interested in a person, then it's exciting, right? It's interesting. You're like, oh, and then you're actually having a conversation back and forth. It's really easy for it to like, and I don't know about y'all. I don't know about the rest of y'all or whatever, but like when I talk to people that are close to me, even if I talk to them all the time, but they're like really smart people and they're insightful people, the conversations are just really interesting. You know, it's not an argument. It doesn't have to be an argument or a disagreement. It's just like you're just having like an interesting conversation. You're feeding off of one another. Like that's fun. I think that a lot of people are downplaying that, and I think that people just don't know what it looks like for a relationship to be exciting without it being like filled with drama or filled with a bunch of events or like, oh, yeah, we're gonna go out of town this week and we're gonna go out of town next week and I'm gonna take you shopping and you know what I mean? Like we're gonna go on a hike and and centering it around these events, right? As opposed to it being like you can do it in your mind. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. You could ratchet up the excitement.
Do y'all think healthy relationships get boring?
That is my point exactly. That's one of the main reasons why relationships don't work. Because of the way society thinks. It is out of this world. A comment like that? Good luck, everyone. Say bye to relationships.
Why? What did she say that was so bad?
Say bye to love. Say bye to all of it. Apparently, all of that is boring. And we wonder why, as a society, relationships keep failing.
It's just so wild, like that. Like men just want to be in these relationships and just not have to do much. Like that's ultimately what I'm getting from this. Like men are just like, yep, I want to be in these relationships and I don't want to have to do anything. Like once I get her, I got her. She's there for me. She gonna ride or die for me, yada, yada, yada. And I shouldn't have to do much, if anything, to keep the fire going or whatever. You know, like that's why I think it's funny is because listening to women ask these questions makes sense, right? Like it makes sense to me that women would be the ones to ask these questions, and it would make sense that men would be the ones to try to explain away why a boring relationship is a healthy relationship. Right? Once again, I don't think a boring relationship equates to a healthy relationship, because if it's boring, that means you're not satisfied. If you think something is boring, you're not satisfied. And since when has an unsatisfying relationship been a healthy relationship? Once again, it's not the worst. There's definitely worse types of relationships, and there's levels to this. But I wouldn't classify it as healthy. I would say it's unhealthy. Right. And I would say it could easily be healthier, and it needs to be. Now let's start talking about some solutions to this, right? Now, I'm not saying this dude is talking about any solutions, but listen to his solutions. This is what he's saying to keep the fire going. You guys let me know if you agree in the comments.
To get to a place where you start to become very, very predictable. A lot of you women, you start to spend a lot of time with a guy. He's able to have your attention whenever he wants it. You know, you call him on a Monday, you're on the phone with him for 2 hours. Next Tuesday, you're on the phone for 2 hours. Every day he calls you, you're on the phone with him. You need to switch your routine up. He call you back on Wednesday or Thursday, you're not available at this time. Once you start to becoming predictable, men stop putting in effort with you. You got to be able to keep a man guessing. Familiarity breeds contempt. When a person becomes extremely familiar with you, they start to handle you as if you don't hold value.
It's not contempt. Complacency.
He started out chasing you, coming after you.
Also, why does a woman need to play a game with the man to keep him interested? If she has to do that, then doesn't that mean that that's probably not a healthy relationship? If you have to play games in a relationship, is the relationship healthy? I would say no, right?
But now you're self-check because you've been giving him everything he wants, and he has to give you nothing. You're giving him a lot, he's giving you little. He knows that if he calls you, you're gonna answer the phone. He knows if he wants to come over, you're gonna let him. You're becoming too predictable. There's times when he wants to come over and you tell him you can't, you're busy.
And this is why I'm saying, if you listen to what this man is saying, there is no way to satisfy a man, right? He doesn't want a woman who he can call on. That's what he's saying. If he gets a woman that he can call on, he's going to become complacent. I'm not even saying I disagree with that part of it. I agree with that. I see what he's saying, right? He is kind of speaking truth to how men think. And that's why I said initially, men are the reason why this happens. Because once a man gets a woman, he's like, oh, I got her. I don't got to do nothing. That is unhealthy. That is not a healthy approach.
There's times when he want to call and you might shoot him a text and say, I hit you back late. I got something going on. You got to show him that you have a life.
So why would your answer, and it's the thing that I say to all of these men though, so why is your solution to this problem, right? Or the solution that you're offering for the women to play a game and not for men to not become complacent, right? Why wouldn't the solution be, hey man, why don't you keep paying attention to your woman? Why don't you treat her the same way that you did the first day you met her? Why don't you show that same level of intention every single day? Why? That is the solution. The solution isn't to play games. That's dumb. That's actually more effort than just paying attention every day, right? Putting forth the effort every day. So you want the woman to put forth all of this effort to manufacture effort out of the man, right? To manufacture effort out of the man, as opposed to telling the man to remain engaged in the relationship, and that energy will be reciprocated by the woman, right?
Whenever you become predictable, you become self-check, and he's gonna stop putting in real effort with you. There's a lot of people that play basketball on the basketball court that you don't even have.
Not a sports analogy, Lord God help us.
Have to guard them because you know if you throw them the ball, they ain't gonna make the shot. You only had to put defense on them. Some of y'all women in a lot of these men's lives have come to a point where he stopped putting any kind of pressure on you because he know he got you where he needs you. So now he's over there putting pressure on somebody else, doing all the things with somebody else that he used.
So why is that the woman's responsibility? Why is that a woman's responsibility to get the man's attention? Why wouldn't the man just treat the woman with respect? This, right? Isn't that weird? Isn't that a weird take, a weird approach to tell people to do? Like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense.
Used to do with you, right? Because he doesn't need to do with you, that with you anymore because you're predictable. He knows he's going to be able to find you wherever he left you. You can't be predictable. Don't say I ain't trying to help you.
Yeah. So pretty much men can't be satisfied. Basically, I mean, if you just listen to what that dude's saying, if a woman is consistent, then men will become complacent and start to mistreat her. So why would a woman ever want to be in a relationship with a man if that's what you're saying? If you like, I want you to understand, if your goal is to help men and women, right? Why would your approach to this be, hey, women, these men are never going to treat you right if you treat them right. So instead, you must play games with them. You must ignore them. You must manufacture these reactions, you know what I mean, based on lies and based on manipulation, because they won't actually just take the time to make sure that they value you and respect you as a human being and as a person and as a partner. We're not going to put any of the onus on the man. We're going to put all this onus on a woman. It's the woman's responsibility to keep the man interested, not the man's responsibility to value and respect the woman.
Let's say you love going out to dinner, right? And he loved date nights. And he took you on a date night every week for this example. And then it comes to a point where now he doesn't do it anymore. He stops behaving in that way. And you're asking him, hey, let's fix this. I want to get back to date night. And he has all these reasons why we can't do date night, which are all things that can be fixed if he's willing to put in the effort, but he's unwilling to do that. So now you taking issue with it isn't simply because you're not being taken on date night anymore. It's also because you feel like he doesn't care enough to put into work to fix something that would make you happier, that you would enjoy, all right? And that's the additional layer of this that a lot of people do not discuss or understand, that leads to a lot of resentment, frustration, gives more fuel to the fire of people falling apart.
Exactly. Let's listen to that again. That was
Let's
good.
say you love going out to dinner, right? And he loved date nights. And he took you on a date night every week for this example. And then it comes to a point where now he doesn't do it anymore. He stops behaving in that way. And you're asking him, hey, let's fix this. I want to get back to date night. And he has all these reasons why we can't do date night, which are all things that can be fixed if he's willing to put in the effort, but he's unwilling to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So now you taking issue with it isn't simply because you're not being taken on date night anymore.
Mm-mm.
It's also because you feel like he doesn't care enough to put in the work to fix something that would make you.
It's a sign of something greater. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's unhealthy. Like if a man is like not interested anymore in, you know, giving a woman attention, you know what I mean? Like he was before, then that's usually a sign of something else. There's something else behind the scenes, right? Like what's going on? Like, why doesn't he want to give her attention? I'm not saying like he's cheating or anything like that, right? It could be that, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's just like, it's a crack. It's a crack in the foundation. And you have to what does that come? Where's that coming from? Why do you not feel like you want, like that you shouldn't give me that attention anymore, or you're not interested in giving me that attention anymore? You have to really get to the bottom of that. You know what I mean? It can't just be, oh, I don't know, we just been together for a long time. No, it needs to be like, well, let's think about it. Why is this happening? When did it start happening? Right? Because I can almost guarantee you, if a man is taking you out to eat every week or out on a date every week, and then he stops, other things are soon to follow. Like that's not going to be the only thing that stops. He's gonna not listen to her as much. He's not, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna withdraw in many ways. It ain't gonna be in just in that way. He's gonna get lazier and lazier and more complacent, right?
Your man is no longer putting any effort. He doesn't want to do anything. Now that you live together, forget it. Date nights, gone. Romance, gone. Little cute little things that he used to do for you, like surprise you with little things, gone.
And when these things stop, right? When the men stop giving this effort, the women also stop, they naturally withdraw a little bit too. And then the men, and then becomes like this cycle, right? Because she pulls a little bit and then you pull a little bit more, and she pulls a little bit more and you pull a little bit more, right? So but it starts with the man. Typically, it starts with the man. He pulls back, and then maybe she's not as willing to be intimate with him physically, right? Which that's the number one. Usually that's the first reaction, right? And once that happens, for sure with the man, that's like, oh, okay, so we ain't, and then men start, when the women start to pull back physically, a lot of men will rationalize that as like, yeah, that my uncle told me that once you get a woman, she usually stops sleeping with you. Like a lot of this stuff is due to men being told that like this is natural, right? Like boring is natural. A man not doing what he did in the beginning is natural. A woman not doing what she did in the beginning is natural. But who made that? Like, who told you that? Like, why are we just taking that at face value? Like, yeah, no, that's how things normally work out, when that definitely doesn't have to be the case, right? It's really just rooted in effort or lack thereof.
And you're like, damn, what did I do? Am I doing something wrong? Is he no longer attracted to me? Is he no longer interested in me? Well, the main problem is, let's start off with you not telling him. I've noticed a lot of you don't tell your man how you feel, because you're afraid that it's going to either start an argument, or you're the type of person that you're not confrontational.
So why would that be her fault? Man, it's my PSA. Men, stop giving women advice. Stop. This is dumb. This is crazy, sir. You should be talking to men about this. How is this her fault? Like you're making the case for it. Like this is like if she feels uncomfortable because she's afraid that it's going to start an argument, that means the man in the relationship doesn't know how to communicate properly, and his ego gets fucking bruised every single time a woman has anything to say to him. Anytime his woman is telling him, this is how I feel and this is what I'm going through, he gets triggered by it because he has no interest in actually meeting and fulfilling her needs, right?
You do know that needs to change, right? You do know that you got to be a little selfish in your relationship, and just because you live with your man, you feel like it's all about him and you lose yourself in the relationship. Why? Why do you lose yourself in the relationship and you put him first, and then you start to, no offense, you even, I understand you put your children first also, but like, what about you? What happened to you? Without you, the household doesn't function.
Why does think about it. Why does a woman need to tell her husband or tell her boyfriend or whatever to pay attention to her and take care of her? I want you to think about that. You think that's healthy? Why should she need to do that? Because the boyfriend and husband, I guarantee you, he doesn't need to tell her to pay attention to him. Right. And if he does, because she's not paying attention to him, I guarantee you she's gonna be like, oh, well, I'm just really tired all the time because I'm always doing every fucking thing in the house. And it's gonna come back to something that is linked to his behavior anyway. and that's why men don't bring up shit. Because we know, yeah, I just been really thinking that, I just really want you to, why don't we ever watch movies together anymore? Oh, that's easy because, at night, you never help me with the kids. And I'm like too fucking tired. Like, and I just, you know what I'm saying? She may not even be that rude about it, but that's ultimately what it's going to come down to.
Let's be real. You need to be happy. I understand that you're not a selfish type of person, but you got to be a little bit selfish. A little bit. It's not fair to you. You need to sit him down and tell him the truth today.
I think being selfish in this case, if you were going to say that, I wouldn't consider this to be selfish at all. But in this case, it would be she should leave him. Because if you need to tell somebody to do this, you probably should leave him, right? I'm just saying, like, why men have to stop expecting women to do all of this labor in a relationship. Like, we need to step up and do more. We need to do way more than wait for some woman to tell us, like, I'm unhappy. Why? You always want a woman to be chasing you. You always want to have that like upper hand on a woman where, you're not giving her enough and she has to come to you and beg you for fucking scraps. So you could be like, yeah, okay, she need me. She like, what the fuck?
Tell him exactly how you feel. Tell him that you're no longer happy. You're not happy. You're not happy in your relationship anymore. You're not putting any effort. What is going on? Are you no longer happy with me? Are you not in love with me? What is going on? Have you fallen out of love with me? Talk to me. Tell me. The whole purpose of being in a relationship is having open communication with your partner on a regular basis. You always have to. It doesn't matter, like, if you feel like you're going to offend him and you feel like it's going to start an argument, who cares? Tell him that he's no longer putting any effort into this relationship and you're not happy.
If the communication is open, then shouldn't the man be also like, the man should be communicating with her? That's what I'm saying. It's a weird take, man. But ultimately, like I said, in my how I'm looking at this is ultimately the relationships don't ever have to be boring. I don't think boring equals healthy. I think boring equals there's a problem. I think boring is a sign of a problem, right? And that's not to say that you can never have boring days or a boring spell or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, though, if you could ever use the word boring to describe your relationship, it is probably an unhealthy relationship, or it is a sign of a deficiency within your relationship, right? And you probably need to address it.